Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football. Coach Prime staying active in the transfer portal. Going to talk about the recent commits, also some new targets, and just talk about this roster overhaul that Coach Prime and the Colorado Buffaloes are making happen. Now, before we get into it, again, just want to say thank you to you guys. Following this Coach Prime story, talking about the different commits that are coming in has been an absolute blast. We really haven't seen this in like the modern college football era, in the transfer portal and the amount of talent that's in the transfer portal, really allowing the Coach Prime the opportunity to change a team that won 1-11 in 2022 to be a competitive football team in 2023. It's been a blast to follow. It's been a blast to talk with you guys in the comment section. So again, can't thank you guys enough. If you do enjoy chopping it up, consider subscribing to the channel. We appreciate all the support. Let's get into the most recent commits. Now, this is the fun part for Colorado, right? A lot of Colorado fans, a lot of the Colorado fans not necessarily that nervous. A lot of the national media was nervous when you saw all those scholarship players leave the program in the transfer portal. I think a lot of the Colorado fans, Coach Prime himself, were like, this is what Coach Prime said when he took the job in December. He said, you're going to see a lot of new faces that are on this 2023 roster that were not here in 2022. And that's exactly what we're seeing. And again, now the fun part is, all the guys are out who are kind of the old regime, if you will. And now Coach Prime is going out getting his guys. Now it's the fun part and just collecting talent. The most recent, Dawson from Auburn, 2021 kid. He was a top 400 dude, 10.5 100-meter dash speed. So a legit blazer, playmaking ability. Did not play much at Auburn, but you love the speed, right? Anytime you're going sub 10.6, sub 10.7 in the 100-meter, you have game-breaking level speed, and that's kind of something that Coach Prime has sought after in the transfer portal, getting a guy like Jimmy Horn from USF, guys who have legit speed. And at the end of the day, it's so hard to cover somebody when they're just faster than you. And it gets really hard to cover an offense when they got multiple guys who are faster than you. And I think that's kind of what Coach Prime is looking to do. So Dawson didn't necessarily crack it in Auburn. Again, only a 2-year kid. He's still very young, and that Auburn offense was just an absolute disaster. So kind of hard to evaluate him. No doubt adds some much needed athleticism. You even look at a guy like Dawson in the 2021 class would have been Colorado's top recruit from the 2021 class. So the amount of talent that's getting injected into this roster is different. And if you're a Colorado fan, including myself, who's just hard not to be a fan at this point of what Coach Prime is doing, it's really exciting to see all this new talent from all over the country come to Colorado. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the targets they have, but let's get a little update on what Coach Prime has been doing in the transfer portal, going down to the transfers that he has added. Omarion Cooper earlier today also has committed to Colorado, and this one's an interesting, right? Coming right off the heels of Jaquez Robinson, another SEC cornerback coming in. Omarion Cooper from Florida State, he played a lot of football, 3 interceptions in his first year. Again, another 2021 guy. When you look at him, when you read the scouting notes of him coming out of high school, like an NFL level cornerback frame, super long. He's very twitched up and athletic, but you love the length. Like when you go look at him, he's going to put hands on you. And that's kind of the type of cornerback Coach Prime is seeking out through the transfer portal, right? You go get Kamani McLean in the 2023 class, super long guy. Travis Hunter, super long guy. Jaquez Robinson, super long guy. You teach those guys technique. You teach them how to kind of put hands on a receiver and be physical. You feel really, really good about this cornerback room. And again, we talked a little bit about it. I mean, I wonder, you're loading up on all this cornerback talent. That's going to be probably the easiest position for Coach Prime to coach, right? One of the best to ever do it at the NFL at that position. You want to go learn from the best. A lot of these guys, when they're committing, saying, I want to walk in the shoes that Coach Prime walked in. And so you're going to go play for a guy that's done what you want to do. So getting the cornerback talent is seemingly very easy, right? He comes in late and gets a guy like Kamani McLean, gets Travis Hunter, obviously, in the 2022 class, coming over from Jackson State. This is a position that Coach Prime is going to be okay with. And I wonder if that kind of just leaves the door open for Travis Hunter to continue to take more reps at wide receiver. Like Travis Hunter is going to be the best cornerback on this team. But if you have a laundry list of guys that you feel good about trotting out at that cornerback position, maybe it gives Travis Hunter some more time and work to develop as a wide receiver. Because quite frankly, you give Travis Hunter an offseason to learn how to play the position of wide receiver. It's probably also going to be the best wide receiver on this team too. That's how athletic he is. Now, taking a look at some of the more targets Colorado has that could potentially be coming to Colorado through the portal. We talked a little bit about it, and I think I was a little misunderstood last time we talked about it. I kind of said trenches are kind of the concern, right? You're getting a lot of guys who are speedsters. They're athletic, whether they're playing wide receiver, whether they're playing cornerback. You have the speed and the skill position. Now I think a lot of Colorado fans are saying, okay, let's go get some guys in the trenches, specifically on the defensive line, right? I think Colorado's done. You look at their offensive line, their potential starting five, you feel pretty good about it. You add a guy, David Connor, coming over from Florida on the offensive line. I like the depth and the talent that they're getting on the offensive line. My main concern is kind of seeing what they can get on the defensive line, because that is when you look at the depth chart as it stands right now. And of course, it's going to be a lot different in probably 48 hours. That's probably the position you want to develop. The defense in general, but specifically the trenches, especially when you're going and playing a team like Utah or Oregon who has big physical offensive linemen, you got to be able to stop the run and get off the field. And one of the ways that teams are going to look to neutralize a team like Colorado that has so much firepower on the offensive side of the ball, run the football, keep that clock moving, and keep the ball out of Deion Sanders' hand, Jimmy Horn's hand, Travis Hunter's hands, all those guys. And so that's kind of what you're looking at. So a few guys that I'm kind of expecting to be committing, and the guy I really want to talk about is two guys. Savell Smalls, the former 5-star from Washington, a top 30 dude out of the 2020 class, didn't quite put it together at Washington, was on campus this weekend, and that's something we talk about. When Coach Prime gets a player on campus, they see the mountains in the background of the stadium, they're around Coach Prime's energy, like they're committing more times than not, it seems like, to play for Colorado. And so getting a guy like Savell Smalls on campus who just seemingly has all the traits. So you don't become a top 30 prospect out of high school nationally if you don't have those traits. You give him a change of scenery. Like, he could be an all Pac-12 kind of guy for Colorado. Sean Washington coming over from Georgia, like you saw in the NFL, there's not a lot of things that I trust more than Georgia breeding good defensive linemen. And Sean Washington is an absolute house, 6'3", 310 pounds. Coming over from Georgia would be a nice role piece on the defensive line. And then you have a couple different playmakers that you're taking a look at here. Cameron Johnson at that offensive tackle spot, an all-conference dude. Alton McCaskill, also coming from Houston, was a almost a true freshman All-American in 2021. Got hurt in the 2022 season. He would be a really nice rotational piece in that running back room. You have a guy like Kavase Smoke, kind of the bruiser. You have Dylan Edwards, who has legit game-breaking speed, who probably can't take more than 10, 15 carries a game because he is pretty small as a first-year guy. Alton McCaskill would seemingly be kind of that all-purpose back, who probably, in my mind, from what I've seen from him, lead the team in carries if he stays healthy in 2023. So again, it's a really this is now the exciting time for Colorado, right? You've had all the guys leave. Okay, that's what Coach Prime says. We got to get guys who see our vision. And so a lot of those guys from that 2022 team weren't necessarily, I mean, they definitely weren't Coach Prime's guys, but they weren't seeing the game of football and where this program was going like Coach Prime sees it. So now it's fun. Now Coach Prime's getting a ton of transfers on campus and kind of saying, okay, I want to pick the guys who kind of share that vision and are the kind of players that we want in this program. And again, this is a super exciting time to be a Colorado fan. And you'll probably see Coach Prime tone the transfer portal down in a couple of years once he starts recruiting the high school level, right? But as of right now, the transfer portal represents an opportunity similar to what you saw with Lincoln Riley coming into USC, where you can change a football program immediately with guys who are transferring for all sorts of different reasons, whether it's playing time, whether it's just different fit, whether it's NIL, whatever the reason might be. There are legitimate good college football players who can impact your team immediately in the transfer portal. And so with the transfer portal age, Coach Prime has the ability to change a team that went 1-11 to being a very competitive football team in the Pac-12. And again, this is one of the coolest stories that we've seen in college football. We're going to continue monitoring it. I have a feeling a lot more Colorado commits are coming. So again, if you do enjoy the content, stay tuned, stay locked in. We'll be talking some more Colorado football as some more transfers roll in. Appreciate the support. And then at the end, it's going to be nice to see this whole depth chart. Do your research on these guys who are coming in the portal and kind of project how this team fits into the Pac-12 as we head into the 2023 season. So again, appreciate the support. If you do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel, and we'll talk to y'all later.